Hey, this is Stephen Platinum, your friend in wrestling with Platinum versus NXT. Easy as 1, 2, 3, post takeover 36 edition. Now, people were probably tuning in to see what was going to change, what was going to be different. Perhaps they were a little apprehensive. It was still a very good show, so that hasn't changed to that great of an extent. But clearly they're wrapping up a couple of major angles they've had going on. Now, is it that the story is played out? Is it that they want to take things in a different direction? Time will tell on that. But most definitely there were some things that most definitively got ended. Most notable among that, we open with $1 Million Man, $1 Million Legacy. You know, they go over the whole drama with LA Knight and Cameron Grimes and Ted DiBiase. They drop a whole bunch of $100 bills with Grimes' face on them all over the Capitol Wrestling Center. The crowd's really happy. And so it goes. Still to come, we're going to get a Hit Row against Legado del Fantasma in the 6-man main event. That's really awesome. And the Breakout Tournament Finals with Odyssey Jones and Carmella Hayes. We get Ridge Holland against Timothy Thatcher. And it's a very good match. Apparently, though, Timothy Thatcher got hurt, or perhaps this was set up so he could take time off. Ridge Holland wins in definitive fashion. Ciampa runs in, of course, but in the end, it is for naught. Yeah. Let's take a look here. Sorry, having a little problems with my laptop. Like I said, a really fantastic match betwixt Holland. After the match, Holland stands tall. Ciampa runs in to check on Thatcher. Holland pulls him away. Ciampa brawls with Holland at ringside. It's all kinds of drama. It's all kinds of whatever it is. Yeah, they take Thatcher down at ringside with that weapon. And then Dunn, Lorcan, and Birch regroup on the stage and stand tall while Ciampa and Thatcher struggle to recover. Yeah, apparently Thatcher is going to be gone for quite some time with a real injury. We get a sit-down interview with Arash. Yeah. Talking to Carmelo Hayes about tonight's Breakout Tournament Finals. That's good. See Caden Carter and Casey Catanzaro messing around with TikTok earlier. Vic calls them the TikTok tag team of NXT. They're going to be in action next. Mackenzie Mitchell's backstage with Indy Hartwell and Dexter Loomis. We see Indy proposing last week. Indy goes on and on and on how good it is to be in love and all they've done in the past, in last week. The wedding date is announced for September 14th NXT episode. Yikes. Catanzaro and Carter against Gigi Dolan. Yay! And JC Jane. Super cool to see, of course, Gigi Dolan, the once Priscilla Kelly, in action. And, you know, their ring work is getting better and better. Of course, you know who's going to win this bad boy. It's going to be Casey and Caden. That's not really the point. Jane takes the pin, and so it goes. They celebrate. They go over to the announce table to yell about how they want to shot at the NXT Women's Tag Champs. Mackenzie Mitchell's backstage with Raquel Gonzalez, congratulates her on the takeover 36 win, and asks about Dakota Kai. You know, she says, if you know Dakota, you know this isn't over. Kaylee Ray is going to appear at TakeOver 36. Gonzalez says she's been waiting for her to come over to the United States. She goes on about taking any challenger until Frankie Monet interrupts with Jessie Camilla and Robert Stone, of course. Monet puts herself over and says she will take the shine and the title right off Gonzalez. Oh, brief vignette on Kaylee Ray. Really well done. Back to commercial. We come back, and now Arash Markazi is interviewing Odyssey Jones. It ought to be a really good match and a really good build, and I really like the Breakout series in general. They've done a good job with it, and it's cool that they're having the finals on a regular episode of NXT. Kaylee Ray against Veronica Faraz. I mean, you know the deal. Gory Bomb ends this one. Certainly Kaylee Ray looks dominant and looks really good. We see NXT champ Samoa Joe walking in the parking lot and go to commercial. When we come back, a cameraman stops Gigi Dolan, yay, and JC Jane backstage as they're selling the loss. They're asked what's next, but Mandy Rose interrupts and tells them to follow her and never look back if they never want to feel like that again and never lose. Rose walks off, and it looks like Dolan and Jane are going to follow. Go back to the ring, and out comes Samoa Joe. He talks about how he beat Karrion Kross. He's the first 3-time NXT champ. He didn't come dressed to celebrate, though. He talks about how it's like a land of savages and how the handshakes and stares were colder than when he arrived today. He says anybody in the back who wants to come step to him, says the time is now, the champ is waiting. Here comes Pete Dunne. Dunne enters the ring and they face off. Music interrupts and out comes LA Knight. He says he's here to be Joe's first and last challenger. Knight goes to enter the ring, and Dunne says if he takes one more step, he will get his fingers broken. Knight tells Dunne to use his inside voice. The music interrupts. Here comes Kyle O'Reilly. Kyle O'Reilly makes his case, and it's certainly a good one, right? He was the winner of the Undisputed Era finale at TakeOver. So he makes a joke about what Knight's wearing, and Joe says that is such a sick burn. Kyle says he respects Joe, but he's not here to talk himself into a title match because he's earned it. Ridge Holland, though, attacks Kyle on the stage and beats him down. Joe and Dunne face off in the ring. Tommaso Ciampa rushes to form the side and attacks Dunne. Brouhaha craziness. Dunne and Holland look on from ringside as Joe stands in the ring, raising his NXT title. Cameron Grimes is walking Ted DiBiase to his limousine. So everything's coming to an end, apparently, and he gives the $1 million title to Ted. Ted, says, gives it back to him, but he's switched it out with a replica belt. Ted does a signature laugh and rides off in the limo. Grimes also laughs. We're going to have the NXT Breakout Tournament Finals in just a bit. Mackenzie stops Kyle O'Reilly backstage on what just happened. Duke Hudson quickly interrupts and attacks, unloading on Kyle O'Reilly, beating him down. O'Reilly fights back and they brawl. Woof! We got Carmelo Hayes against Odyssey Jones in the finals. I predicted that Odyssey Jones would win, but I was wrong. Carmelo Hayes won. Yeah, it was great. So after the match, they're both shocked as the music hits. We go to replays, and William Regal's there, and Samantha Irvin. Regal congratulates Hayes and says he more than deserves his contract to face any NXT champion that he wants. He congratulates him again, shakes his hand, gives him the contract. He asks him which champion he wants to face. Hayes gives a shout out to Jones and says he's no joke. Hayes says it's too soon to know who he's going to challenge. He also says he called his shot to get here, and when he shoots, he does not miss. I like that. Hayes stands tall by himself now, raising the contract. Cool. Pete Dunne, Ridge Holland, Lorcan, Danny Burch are backstage. Dunne cuts a promo on Samoa Joe. Burch and Lorcan talk about how they're the rightful NXT Tag Champions because they never lost the belt when Burch got hurt. And Holland warns Ciampa and says he will put him out of action like he did to Thatcher. Got a quick backstage video of Boa saying another victim will fall to Tiansha tonight. Mei Ying briefly appears and sprays her mist. More highlights from TakeOver 36. We talk about the new NXT UK champion, Dragunov, that he's going to appear next week. And Timothy Thatcher is out of action indefinitely. Boa versus Zion Quinn. Very short match. Boa looks up and Ying signals to finish Quinn. Boa turns around to a big forearm from Quinn for the pin and win out of nowhere. Quinn stands tall at the upset. The music hits. No one can believe it. Quinn goes to make his exit, but Ying stands up on the stage and stares him down. Quinn changes his mind, jumps over the barrier to make his exit. Boa and Ying. Ying is staring him down, not happy. Nice surprise there. It's the kind of thing you see on NXT, and it actually matters when they have a surprise victor. Johnny Gargano is in William Regal's office, trying to convince him to cancel the wedding, the Index wedding. Regal refuses, said it's going to be good TV. LA Knight walks in. He's ranting about Samoa Joe. Regal orders him out of the office and calls them fools. We're going to get our six-man main event after the commercial. Back from the break, Malcolm Bivens is at a Diamond Mine training session. Hachiman oversees Roderick Strong's works with Julius Creed and Brutus Creed, formerly known as the collegiate wrestlers, the Casper brothers, Drew and Jacob. Bivens calls Strong the uncrowned NXT Cruiserweight Champion and takes a shot at Kushida. Bivens says Strong will issue another open challenge next week. Now we get Hit Row against Legado del Fantasma. A really great match, a really great showing for both of them. But at the end of the day, Escobar rolls Scott up for the pin with a handful of tights, but that's not really the story. Scott sits up and he can't believe it because Legado del Fantasma heads to the stage as we go to replays because they added a member and got the win. Cool stuff. NXT marches forward, and they march forward very well, as they tend to do. We'll see what kind of wholesale changes are going to take effect, but for now, it just appears like it's going to continue to be a great